We're in business, kids.
Checking in? Yeah. Cool. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Audit LA. Would you like to provide a public comment this morning?
Good morning, and yes, I would, please. And on all agenda items as well.
I'm sorry, how many items?
All of them. I mean, different ones, but I want the full
Okay.
time, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Henry, would you like to provide public comment this morning?
Good morning. Yes, general public comment and multiple agenda item comment.
Thank you. Moving on to Georgina, would you like to provide public comment this morning?
Yes, please, and I'd like to comment on the minutes.
Okay, thank you. Gigi, would you like to provide public comment this morning? Gigi?
Yes, I'd like general public, and I would also like to speak on the minutes, number 3 and number 5, please.
Thank you. Laura FM, would you like to provide public comment this morning?
Yes, please. General public comment, the minutes, and number 3, please.
Thank you.
President King just confirming that that's fine to do multiple first.
Yeah,
jump
multiple.
to that item and then go to general.
Correct, correct.
White motherfucker wants to submit a card for the record, sir. Do I turn this into dead children or? Nice beautification smile, sir. I enjoy looking at that every Friday. Thank you. that you, Mr. Smith, back there? Good to see you. And to all you all who are not a criminal, good morning. And to the rest of the criminals, I'm glad you're in contempt of the judge's orders. Now you're going to pay fines. That way little Nancy and her little kids will say, Dead Mom. There's no more money.
President King, we are now in record mode and ready to get started.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Friday, January 16, 2026. Mr. Rodriguez, please take roll and establish quorum.
Thank you. We'll take roll, starting off with President Kang, Vice President Chavez, Commissioner Mitchell, and Commissioner Cardenas. And we have established quorum, and we're joined by City Attorney as well. We are now ready to begin.
Thank you very much. This morning, we're going to take the agenda order a little differently. We'll first get started with multiple agenda public comment, which is an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item public comment period for up to a minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item. And please identify the items that you will speak on when you are called. So we're going to do multiple. Go to item number 5, which is our Bureau Heads update, and come back to general public comment after that. So we'll start with in-person multiple public comment speaker. First up, we have Scientology International Association. Calling once again, Scientology International Association. Next up, we have a blank speaker card. Is that you, Mr. Kerman?
Mr. Kang, that's right. That's my black ass. MLK. Make lookers look at the king. You know, K stands for Koreatown, and a goddamn fucking permit for those goddamn chinks for a public right-of-way. What do they need a public right-of-way? Motherfuckers can't even drive. You know, just getting here is a hassle. Matter of fact, I saw this attorney making a left turn in the wrong direction because he cut me off while I was in the pedestrian walkway. That's not the right-of-way, fool. Your job as an attorney, not like that dickhead Peter Thomas, for the record. Yeah, motherfucker.
Mr. Speaker, which items are you speaking
Peter
on?
Thomas. I'm talking in CD10, nigga. Don't you see number 3 in the parentheses there? I can fucking read. Why can't you? Stupid. So let me take my subject back to stupid attorney Peter Thomas, who had his bar license revoked because he's a criminal with all the criminal elements of Los Angeles. That's why you violate the Brown Act. Are you a violator of the Brown Act? You can hold closed sessions behind doors and not let the public participate, because that's what David O'Carter put on record. Contempt!
Speaker, this is multiple agenda item comment.
Yeah,
Please stick
I'm
to
putting
the
into
agenda
record
items.
my fucking ass of public comment for contempt, bitch. Is if I were God, I believe I'm a God, I would do a lot more for Koreatown Youth and Community Center, except you need real people who know how to fucking do the job, like the beautification of LA under the management of, I can't even think of his goddamn name though, Raj, yeah. That gentleman across the hall from here. He's the only motherfucker that takes me serious about cleaning our communities, and his staffer that's sitting right here behind me, because we fucking care. If we didn't fucking care about beautification, we wouldn't have a fucking job, moron. All you morons. Even Chavez and her kids wouldn't have a safe place to play if it wasn't for us.
Speaker, again, stick to the
I'm
agenda
on
items.
item number 3,
Thank you.
jackass. I only get 1 fucking minute an item, right? Why don't you just rule me off of item number 3 and go to the next item? I will, asshole. Look, it's CD all number 2. Fuck CD all 2. I'm glad Donald Trump is the only motherfucking president who's done anything good in this country for the so-called ionization director system. I hope he ionizes China. I hope he ionizes all those fucking countries who keep waving their flags against America. Because sooner or later, if America gets the chance, they're going to rain hell bombs on each other, and little Jenny up there won't get to see her future grandchildren because of this kind of shit. Thank Donald Trump and ICE for their raids in America. Donald J. Trump, you're always welcome here in Los Angeles. Continue the raids. Put ICE up their ass and get all CD, and item number 2 to the director immediately and effectively at this point. Thank you, assholes. Thank you, Paul Roach.
Thank you very much. Once again, Scientology International Association. All right, this is just multiple. General, we're going to take later.
Oh, general, you mean the end of the meeting? What do you mean later?
After item number 5. We're going to do multiple, item number 5, and then come back to general.
Okay,
so right now is multiple.
I didn't miss that. Okay, that's good to know. I didn't miss that.
Which item would you like to speak on?
I will focus on 3, 4, 5, please.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, sir. So my rights is not denied today. That's a really, really good news for the new year of 2026. Let's start with item number 3 is the public right-of-way, Korea and community center. Yes, I am here to support this because grew up in a Koreatown. I watched the Koreatown from 1992. I think it's 1992, the big riot. The whole town burned down like the Minneapolis. Until now, I feel like Koreatown, in certain part of Koreatown, it's become the Skid Row Junior. Figueroa Jr. So right now we are talking of planting more trees, expand the tree wells and decorative pavement, and then if we can put some cleaning effort, and then let's take the homeless who sleep on the street in Koreatown, put them into shelter program, put them into like housing program, because our mayor keeps saying that we have all those programs. Let's just put them in there, because a council member, the mayor keeps saying you have the program, but why doesn't answer the question why everybody still urinate and defecate on the street of the Koreatown. That doesn't make any sense. Now let's move on to item number 4, grant funded program and all bureaus. I want to talk about the sanitation bureau. Because in the area in the L. Ron Hubbard Way, a lot of those Scientology protesters, they urinate and then defecate somewhere around the Scientology property, that is including urine and the feces. But however, it seems like the L. Ron Hubbard Way is continue to be ignored when we are talking about the citywide cleaning.
Got it.
And then who is that? And then continue to be ignored when we are talking about citywide cleaning services. So I just really wish that whenever we are trying to clean out the street, let's do not forget our L. Ron Hubbard Way, because that street also deserves cleaning, deserves services, deserves protection from all of the harassment from those violent protesters. Thank you, sir.
Off topic.
Thank you very much. We will now transition to our virtual platform for just multiple agenda item. We will come back to general public comment after item number 5. Mr. Roman?
President Kang, we have 5 speakers on the line. And we will start off with Audit LA. Will you please identify the item you're speaking on?
Yes, the first one will be on the revocable permit. I think it's number 3. I don't have it with me. Can I go? Is my time starting? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. How many items?
I'm going to speak on all 3 minutes. I may do 3 or 4. I'm not sure, but I want my full time, please.
Okay, you have 3 minutes. Start.
Thank you. Okay, I want to start with the revocable permit and talk about, it sounds like a great plan, and I'm very supportive, but I do want to speak about my concerns, okay? And regardless of the clownery of the person prior, there is no massive protest, but but I am here to protest the R permit. You know, I mean, I want them to get it, mind you, but I want you to be mindful that L. Ron Hubbard, there's a permit there, a revocable permit that for a street that was built by slave labor and children's slave labor, and that and they do not abide by it. Okay, they close it down as if it's their street. They try to prevent the public as if it's their street, and it's not. So I am just asking you that let revocable, if you're doing this, let revocable really mean revocable. Like, I want everyone to know that if they're going to get this permit, they have to abide by it. They have to live up to its expectations. Because if they don't, that the city will do the steps to revoke it. Like, and I wish you would set that example by revoking the one at L. Ron Hubbard Way, since it's never been respected and the rules are not followed. They, violate the, the ADA requirements often, as as we realized with all those planters that were placed that were not ADA compliant. Now with the bureau heads, I want to speak to street services. I want to beg them to stop giving these permits. We saw with the Shrine event, okay, how they shut down all the streets all the way around, absolutely inconveniencing the entire community, even though there was a game. Like, it's not fair to the school. It's not fair to the people who are, want to go to the game. Why do they have to have the streets shut down? Because Scientology is having some kind of indoor event and 3 people go to show up to film it, to film what's going on. And so Laura can maybe hopefully get a glimpse of her father. $42,000, a neighborhood inconvenience. Why is this still going on? And how did it go on? I thought they had to have 51% of like the people approval to be able to even shut down a street. Like, so many rules were broken. And they had Scientologists sitting there, because you're not allowed to close the sidewalk, but they did. And, Scientologists were checking people's IDs to see if they really lived there, to let the students at the school pass through. It's ridiculous. It's got to stop. So I'm asking the bureau's head, Mr. Mosey, please, stop giving them these permits. They don't abide by them, and it's getting worse. There's not a single time, a single event where you've given them a permit and the people's constitutional rights were not violated, and all the terms have been violated. Did you guys even notify the school that
That's
that
time.
you
Thank
were
you.
closing? Thank you.
And moving on to Henry, would you please identify what items you'd like to speak on? Go ahead, Henry.
Yes, good morning. I'll start off with number 5, a report on the bureau heads. We've seen before.
Is that the only item?
No, that's, I'll start with that one, but I'll be speaking on all items.
Okay, thank you. 3 minutes.
So with number 5, I do support to have routine status updates and routine hearings from bureau heads. You have the power to have Keith Mosey testify before you and explain himself as to why he is using his power for political motivations to violate the Los Angeles Municipal Code, issuing frivolous permits for a religious organization for self-gain, for political gain, and at the violation of We the People's First Amendment right, specifically the Establishment Clause, entangling government with a religious organization. Have him come up here and testify to the fact, absolutely, that he is, in fact, issuing street permits for special events to a religious organization without having to go through the entire vetting process for special events, specifically not notifying neighborhood councils, not notifying bids, and not having them submit a special events permit within the allotted time and being vetted properly. That is what you have the power to do. Have Keith Mosey and the rest of the executive management team come up here and testify before you and give a report as to why they're doing that. You do have that power. You don't have to ask the mayor for that. You don't have to ask anybody else for permission. You have that power. Call them up, order them to come up here and give you a report and explain themselves to We the People and have it on a public record on why they're violating the law for a religious organization. It's a very simple, very straightforward. I'll move on to another item. We have an item on public encroachment in the right-of-way. It's clear from this item, right, which I support, but it's clear from this item that this board also has the power to review violations and encroachments on the public right-of-way. Obviously, we see it on an agenda. So that begs the question, for the past 2.5 years now, why hasn't this board taken up the issue of the encroachment by a religious organization on the public right-of-way and enforcement as such? Why has it never appeared on an agenda item despite routine pleadings and following all administrative channels to bring it up for enforcement, to bring it up for discussion, to bring it up on the official public record? That's a problem. I want to talk about the meeting minutes. It is a problem that, first of all, neighborhood councils aren't even being solicited for input. The comments that people are making on different items, for or against each item, as well as a summary of their contents, are not being recorded on the public record. All you have to show for it is that you're saying simple comment was taken. That is not good enough, and you can easily falsify that public record, which are already being seen done by things like the Charter Reform Commission, who is literally not even putting in public comments by people that are submitted in writing. That is what this board is guilty of. It is not a good look, and any
That's
judge.
time. Thank you. Moving on to Georgina. I have you down for the minutes.
Yes, the minutes, and I would like to speak on agenda item number 3 as well.
Okay, you have 2 minutes.
Starting with the minutes, I don't understand why these people aren't getting their free speech. You're stealing that from them by not including it in the minutes. The minutes need to reflect the items that are brought up, the facts, the evidence, time and time again that we bring forward, these victims that are speaking out. Also, your YouTube page, every single video has the exact same title. How is that acceptable? How is that researchable? How is that efficient and supporting the people? On to agenda item number 3. I don't understand why you even bother putting in the word revocable, because you have proven time and time again that that is just a word to you. It is not actually revocable. You've had every reason to revoke the permit for L. Ron Hubbard Way, and yet you refuse to. They violate every permit that they've been given. They went out in the middle of the night. They painted that curb red. They stole that street. They put up their own signs. They put in their own pavement. They denied people in the neighborhood right of way for passage. They continuously violate the terms of that permit. So why even bother saying it's revocable when you know damn well as long as they're giving you money, you aren't revoking it? Thank you. I yield back my time.
Thank you. Moving on to Gigi. Would you please identify the items you'd like to speak on?
I'm going to speak on the minutes 3 and 5.
Thank you. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the minutes. A few minutes ago, I had a thought as to something that might give hesitation with describing what's actually said in, the public comments and in your minutes. I can see the hesitation when someone is talking about someone's kids or saying, slurs. I get that hesitation, but at the end of the day, they have free speech, and as messed up as it is, they have it, and that should be reflected in the minutes too. And it could actually, help document how many times someone said a certain comment about, something they shouldn't have, and they may have to pay for that in the future. It can document that. But I can see the hesitation, but still, you need to include something about who's for items, who's against items, something, do something with the minutes, improve them somehow, please. Number 3, I'm going to echo what others were saying about how the revocable part of the revocable permits doesn't seem to exist because you haven't revoked the L. Ron Hubbard Way permit. So I ask that if you do give them this revocable permit, if they do, violate it, you do address it, and then you also address L. Ron Hubbard Way. I hope that you guys actually hold people accountable when they get revocable permits and you go through and you know, see, okay, they're violating, so you take it away, you revoke it. Number 5, street services, Keith. He got rid of transparency from what I understand. The portal, you cannot see what you used to be able to see as far as permits and stuff like that. And I believe that that's something that he did. I would like to, you know, have him go back and make it how it used to be, because it seems like he is working with Scientology. That's what it looks like. So I want the portal back to how it was. I actually forget that. I want Keith Mosey replaced. That's what I want. I yield my time.
Thank you. And lastly, we have Laura FM. Would you please identify the items you'd like to speak on? Laura FM.
All right, since we can't hear you, we will move on. Mr. Rodriguez, does that conclude our multiple agenda item public commenters?
That does, yes.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close multiple item public comment portion of today's meeting. We'll come back to general public comment after item number 5. We'll head over straight to item number 5. So first up, I'd like to bring up to our podium Mr. John Reamer, representing the Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, commissioners, executives. John Reamer, the Inspector of Public Works, Director of the Bureau of Contract Administration. Thank you, first of all, for allowing me to present so that I can make an appointment. I thought it would be good for this presentation to share with you our efforts, the Bureau of Contract Administration's efforts on the LA Convention Center Modernization and Expansion Project. It's in a draft form. That's one of the reasons why I didn't submit it to you in a written format, because we are still going over it. But what I did want is your input. If not today, feedback on things you think you would like to see from us. And for those in the public listening, the Bureau of Contract Administration, we're responsible for providing contract compliance, inspection oversight with respect to public works projects administered by the Board of Public Works. The first page is pretty much a summary of our dashboard. And let me slow down just a little bit before I get started. I do want to thank and acknowledge our team, Raul Mendoza, our general manager, assistant general manager over the compliance side, Angela Martinez, assistant general manager over the inspection side, Jerry Simpson Harris, who's not here, he's our division manager, but who is here with us, and I want to thank him for being here this morning in case you have any questions, is Lee Williamson, who is the supervising inspector over the project. I mentioned inspectors. We have 7 currently assigned working on the project. Then there's the compliance side. Linda McGillinchy is the compliance program manager, and Ian Monte, along with Patty Fawella, are assisting. So what we put together here is a package of all of the areas that we believe are important to keep track of. And it's not to in any way minimize or diminish any other things, but again, for the public listening, ours is to make sure BCA, that inspection performed is performed according to the plans and specifications, that it's done appropriately, and it's done timely as best we can. And all of the elements that you have wanted to see, the mayor wants to see, the city council wants to see as it relates to workforce inclusion, procurement opportunities, that also takes place. So in the package that I've given you, we've attempted to cover many of the things that we look at, we examine on a daily basis to ensure that when we start at 0 and we get to 100, everything was done decently and in order and appropriate, and we're able to come before you and present a recommendation to accept the project. We're showing roughly about 7% complete. Local hire I'll speak to later. That number is disappointing. We've processed 2 payments already. We're averaging 1 to 2 days processing the payment. And when I say that, I'm not just referring to BCA, I'm referring to our inspector having the conversation with the contractor, agreeing upon the amount, and cutting a check. Electronic helps tremendously. So that's something that we want to keep going. We don't have any open non-compliances, and I can address that a little later. And the total amount paid to date is, a little shy of $112 million. I'm not going to go over all that's in the report. You can see some of the summary, because I do want to give time for you to ask any questions you might have. On page 2, we list our issues of major concern from a general standpoint and upcoming milestones. Clearly, this is a project that everyone understands. We do not want it to interfere with the LA 28 games, so we have some timelines, some milestones that we want to make sure we do not miss. We will be tracking those along with our other partners, and I do not want to leave out our Bureau of Engineering. I'm sure they will have a major report back of which we will include some of ours. There's no need for 3 or 4 of us to report back. But we have several city family members, departments that are involved in this process. The third page, updates on major work areas. These are the ones that we've identified that we believe are critically important with respect to delivering this project. There may be some others that you're concerned about. Please don't hesitate to let us know. Once again, this is in draft format. Page 3, project administration. This speaks to our efforts to ensure compliance. We have 2 tools that we use as inspectors. One is called a notice of noncompliance. Work that has not been done acceptably, work that is just totally unacceptable, or it could not necessarily be work, it also could be a practice. We will issue a notice of noncompliance. To date, we've issued none, which is a good thing. The other document that we have is a job memorandum. Job memorandums are formal yet not as formal. It's a way of us documenting for the record that we have some concerns. You can see those that we've listed. In many instances, we use job memos to clarify and communicate just to make sure we're all on the same page, because as my late father loved to say, there's nothing better than a good understanding. Job memorandums allow us to do that. The 4th page, 5th page, speaks to the payments, which I've somewhat alluded to already. You can see we've made 2. You can see the information on page 3, and that's what we plan. I mean, on the middle part where it speaks to payment 3. We will have in our dashboard the current payment that's up for consideration. And what do I mean by that? The contractor of record, the developer, will submit to our inspector their request for payment. Our inspector will go through it. We already have an idea of work that's been acceptably completed, but we will go through it with the contractor to make sure we're on the same page, and whatever documentation we need to justify authorizing a release of money, which is known as a progress payment, we have those things. In some instances, we don't have them, and it will delay the payment, but that's a process that takes place. When that process is done and both sides agree that we have everything that we need to move forward, the clock starts ticking. And the state of California says that in construction, public works construction, you must make a payment within 30 days of receiving an acceptably completed invoice. And so we're doing number 3 right now. You can see the payment amount that we anticipate, a little over $16 million. And so far, the process is working its way through. As with any project, I will start off very hard and making sure that we're dotting I's and crossing T's. It should not cause unnecessary concern, but we just want to make sure that we get off to a very good start. So yes, we're very, very critical with respect to what we expect and making sure that we get those things that we are asking for. On the same page, you will see subcontractor verification. We also have that responsibility, BCA. What does that mean? We want to make sure that every contractor working on the project has a proper license, they have proper insurance, and they have been approved by our office. We don't just want a contractor going out there and doing work. And so they submit information to us, we verify that, and then we give authorization for them to work. In this process, because there is a project labor agreement on the project, we also want to make sure that the subcontractors have signed what's referred to as a letter of assent. And what does that mean? That means that they have read and they agree to all the terms and conditions of the project labor agreement. If they do not sign a letter of assent, we will not approve them to work on the project. Average time to have a contractor approved is roughly 6 days. And once again, that's based on us getting information from them, not necessarily us doing everything. The next page speaks to targeted hiring. This is the page that I'm a little disappointed about. With respect to right now, we're at 27%. The goal is 30% local hiring. What does that mean? That means that of all the hours worked on the project, 30% of the hours should be worked by men and women who reside in the city of Los Angeles. We're working on this. We've communicated clearly to the contractor our expectations. And I'll just say we are clearly communicating to the contractor our expectations. We have targeted transitional worker hours. Those are individuals that might have some impediments, barriers that would prevent them from being able to work somewhere else. Maybe they're homeless. Maybe they are a single parent. Maybe they are emancipated youth. Maybe they've come out of the prison system. There are a number of things that would help someone qualify as a transitional worker. The goal on this project is 10% of all hours worked. That's a subset of the 30% of the hours worked should be worked by transitional workers. And then lastly, local apprentice hours, 50% of all hours worked. And the state of California states that when public monies are used, there is a percentage of hours worked that must be worked by apprentices. We want 50% of those hours to be worked by those who reside in the city of Los Angeles. That number is not bad. We're at 68%. Business inclusion. You can see here we've listed the various categories of certified businesses that we will be monitoring on this project, from minority business enterprise, women business enterprise, small business enterprise, disabled veteran business enterprise, local business enterprise, emerging business enterprise, and then OBE is other business enterprise. The dollar amounts, anticipated dollar amounts, are listed for you, as well as the percentages that we agreed upon with the contractor. And we've showed you what has been pledged thus far. We not only will monitor pledge, but we will also monitor achieve, which means the contractor will provide us information showing that they have been paying the subcontractors, and we will document that. The goal is to hit all of the numbers that we've identified here. And again, we will be reporting to you on that. Next page we have speaks to worker participation from the various council districts, 1 through 15. And I don't need to go over it. It speaks for itself. Once again, I'm not pleased with where we are right now with respect to the 27%, but we've communicated that, and that's something that we are going to be diligently working on. The last page speaks to labor-related issues with respect to making sure that we receive all the payrolls. The Bureau of Contract Administration is a state-approved labor compliance program. We are authorized to receive all certified payrolls. That means every contractor will submit to our office documentation showing who worked, classification, how much they were paid, number of hours that they worked. They submit that to us on a weekly basis. We use that to populate our local hire, as well as to make sure that wages are being compensated or paid appropriately. So far, no problems, and we don't have any complaints or any audits in place. Any questions?
Thank you very much for that presentation. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you. Question, I heard something about there was a delay or potential delay based on some asbestos that was found on the project. Has that been resolved, and was there a delay on that because of the asbestos?
Okay, so when you ask that question, let me get really, really careful. Was there a delay? Subjectively speaking, I would like to not comment on that. My position on it and the contractor's position on it will probably be different. I will say that, was there asbestos located? Absolutely there was. Whether I believe it should have been known, it really doesn't matter, but it was found, and we are dealing with it. And I don't believe it caused a problem. Lee, I don't believe it caused a problem at all. But again, reasoning minds may differ, but I don't believe it was an issue.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice President Chavez.
So what is the status of positions? Are those fully completed, filled? And how many folks do you have on site on a regular basis?
No, we have our division manager, Jerry Simpson Harris, our Supervising Inspector Lee Williamson. We have 7 inspectors currently working, 2 senior inspectors, 5 CIs, 5 construction inspectors. We still have one more position that we are going to fill. And then we have our compliance side that we just recently filled a compliance program manager position and a management analyst. So we are roughly 90% staffed for the project. And I'm very pleased with and confident in our team. I really am. They understand that the best race is run when you get off, when you start right and fast and well. And they've been giving a lot of time and attention to the details. I appreciate the fact that the project will settle in and establish its rhythm and rhyme, its tone. We want to make sure that it's a harmonious one and not a messed up one. And so building relationships is very important. It happens on every project. This is a large one. A lot of eyes are on it. We understand that and appreciate that. But there's still the steps in place that we want to make sure happen. So I'm comfortable. I was asking Lee the other day, give me a grade. I don't mind saying it publicly. From 0 to 10, right now we give it about a 7. So it's not failing. It's not below average, but it's hovering right there at average. And we want much better than that. I haven't seen any signs to suggest that the contractor does not want to get there. But in all my years of doing this, there's nothing better than a good understanding. And we're going to make sure that we understand them and they understand us. And together we deliver this project.
Thank you. And I agree that that ongoing dialogue is critical for the success of this project. I mean, it's a massive undertaking and a very tight schedule, as we all know, and we all knew that before it was approved. But I do think that this is a great opportunity to showcase what Public Works does.
Absolutely.
And in partnership with the contractor and all of our sister departments that are integral to the success of this project, including DBS and fire and others. And so I know that the coordination is a 24/7 job to ensure that everyone's operating to the same page, you know, constantly telling each other, right, what the updates are, what that means, because everyone interprets facts differently, and it's really important to keep that dialogue. I know that that's happening on a regular basis. I've been really impressed with that. This board has requested quarterly updates. I believe we're scheduled to get the first major update at the beginning of March. And I would love to see the information you provided to us and the metrics that you've developed integrated into that. I know BOE is the lead on this. I've provided them some guidance on what a sort of high-level dashboard should look like in terms of external communications, because I think it's really important that we communicate externally the progress on this project, because without it coming from us, others are filling in the void of what's happening or what's not happening. And I think it's really important that we are the purveyors of that information, so that, you know, the facts are laid bare, and people can, and we can have public deliberation about the facts and the information and the progress and all the work that's happening. And, you know, issues are going to come up as they do with every project, and they're being handled. We've got the best of the best working on this project. So thank you for this, and I look forward to future updates.
First of all, I appreciate your comments. I really do. I have to thank the mayor and the city family, first of all, for providing us the resources, BCA the resources needed to accomplish this, because we're approaching this in a twofold approach. We have our team there on a daily basis, but our leadership team, they're in front of the project. I want them way in front of the project. As a matter of fact, I want them at the month or two before the Olympics and working back this way so we can catch and see anything that might be an issue. BOE has been incredible. They've been tremendous, as they always are, and it's a partnership inside of the Public Works family that is very seamless, and we work in hand in glove. So your support is greatly appreciated.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any other comments or questions? I did also want to commend everybody's efforts to ramp up the local hire. So it's great to see that we're almost at the 30% threshold. And I know your time is limited, so thank you very much.
Well, again, thank you, and please, critically, let us know if you need more in those dashboards. If there's something that we're missing, we don't suggest to know everything. Our team is good, don't get me wrong, but I welcome your thoughts and your input. I appreciate you again for letting me go first. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have the Bureau of Street Services, represented by Director Keith Mosey.
Good morning, President Kong, Commissioners. My name is Keith Mosey, General Manager for Bureau of Street Services. Here today, I'm going to talk about the Bureau of Street Services storm response during the rains starting December 24th. Street Services is an integral part of the city's, I told this up a little bit, emergency management department as far as response when it comes to the framework. We're typically on scene before anybody shows up to remove trees, mud, debris, or other things out in the roadway to make roads safe and passable. During the holiday rains, we had a surge in tree emergencies, potholes, and other requests, and the Bureau even recently worked with Bureau of Engineering to remove boulders and debris from the Santa Susana Pass and secure that area. The roadway is still closed, by the way, as basically there was significant damage to the roadway, to a guardrail and even a manhole cover that's out there in the roadway. The Street Maintenance Division, going back to December 24, has repaired over, through this week, 5,100 pothole repairs. We've surged crews, resources to this area. Crews are working longer hours, 7 days a week, and we're moving resources as needed to deal with this particular response. The Bureau is also making large asphalt repairs on targeted roadways such as La Brea, where there was significant damage to one of the travel lanes, and basically we did large asphalt repairs to basically correct or fix that particular lane. And since December 24, the Urban Forestry Division has responded to, which hasn't gotten, like, say, a lot of press, over 1,700 tree emergencies through this week where tree branches or limbs fell or in danger of falling into or blocking the public right-of-way. The Bureau of Street Services are typically first responders that work closely with the Emergency Management Department to support fire and police as needed to, again, make roads safe and passable, everything in the public, to pick up or remove any debris in the public right-of-way. And typically, what a lot of people don't recall is that if there's a major earthquake, wind event, heavy rains or things like that, or even pandemic, the Bureau's out there basically keeping continuity of operations to make sure that the public right-of-way and, everybody's safe out there. With that, I will take any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? I did want to make a big kudos to you and your team, especially during the holidays. I know over Christmas and New Year's, everybody from sanitation, all of our bureaus, but street services have been out in full force. And I know the mayor has made multiple announcements, but our crews at BSS has made close to 5,000 pothole repairs since Christmas Eve. And that is a huge accomplishment given our current state of the city. So wanted to congratulate you and your team for making a concerted effort. I know there's been a renewed attention on potholes throughout the city of Los Angeles. Thank you so much for that. Any other comments, Vice President Chavez?
Thank you. Well, you didn't really go into the reason of why we have so many potholes, which is the underlying, literally underlying problem here with our pavement condition and the deleterious condition that it's currently in because of the chronic underinvestment of our system. We have the largest street network of any city in the country, and we are not properly investing in in our largest street asset. And that's why. So I know that you, and I do give all credit to the crews. And I know that the workforce is much smaller than it used to be, right? So in the last 2 years, you have 400 fewer personnel than you had. So you're doing more with less. And so I'm wondering if you could talk about just, looking forward. And I know that you have a proposal to increase the budget for next year because we need to address the long-term pavement condition, and we need to focus on that because it's one of those, the longer you defer it, the more expensive it becomes. So maybe you can talk about that a little bit.
Sure. Thank you, Commissioner. 40% of our street network is in poor condition, and basically those are the ones that we're seeing problems with. Rain is one of the most detrimental things to asphalt. It literally tears it apart as it comes down. It doesn't react very well with water. And you're right, we lost, going back over 2 years, last year in our budget, we lost 183 positions. The year before that, we lost 200 something, or a total of over 406 positions. And we're also, currently we have 67 vacancies, which may not seem like a lot, but basically we lost critical positions such as heavy duty truck operator, our truck operator. Those are the folks that deliver the asphalt, haul the asphalt away, and also drive our pothole trucks. And, we should have 28 pothole trucks. On average, we have 11 pothole trucks working out there on a daily basis. So when it comes to these surges, as far as pothole repairs, I have to sometimes shut down a resurfacing crew to basically put people on pothole trucks so basically we can deal with this particular emergency. During any emergency, though, my most important, I say job is to basically deal with, as far as the emergency. So during the mudstorms, for instance, a couple of years back, I stopped all work to basically have crews go pick up mud and debris and things like that. But going back to what you're saying when it comes to the condition of the roadways, our budget needs to be, several $100 million to basically raise our pavement condition index for our street network. And right now, basically, we don't have that particular budget. And again, we lost critical positions that do this work. And so another, for instance, I only have, say, 24 heavy-duty truck operators for our pavement preservation crews, which is obviously not enough. I also need more capacity when it comes to our concrete work, our concrete crews. And, and I always give the example that, for a mile stretch, if there's 14 access ramps that need to be installed, it takes one concrete crew 3 months to basically construct those ramps. It would take 3 months. That same, stretch of roadway, that mile that I just talked about, a paving crew in an ideal world can pave that in a weekend, 2 days, or a week, and so they move at a much faster pace. And right now, our concrete capacity, our crews are very limited. I have 6 crews that are constructing about 300 ramps this year. Therefore, I can only construct about, or pave about 60 lane miles. And so what we've done in the interim, basically to deal with some of our roadways that are in poor condition, is to pivot to large asphalt repairs. Large asphalt repairs is a form of patching that stabilizes the roadway itself, but basically dealing either with the structure or the top layer of the asphalt to basically make it, I say, firm and unyielding, things of that nature. And what that does, it's a proven pavement preservation technique that has been around since the advent of streets, literally. And so basically that is helping, to improve the conditions of our roadways for some of our roadways that are basically, we're having trouble with, like say, numerous potholes and things like that. Going forward, I have put together a budget proposal to backfill these critical positions that are needed for our heavy duty drivers and our truck operators and equipment operators that are needed to basically construct roadways. I've also asked for more capacity when it comes to concrete crews, putting in a budget package as it relates to the ability to do concrete work for, say, sidewalk backlog repair 311, or even do access ramps. Also, positions for Olympics to do work with the Olympics, and but primarily to do more paving work. And that means asking for more money either through, say, contract potentially, to construct access ramp, along with street services crews. And so with that being said, I do look forward to working with the mayor, been working with the CAO and so forth, talking about these particular issues, raising the level of awareness when it comes to these type of the repairs that are needed to improve the pavement condition for our street network. I think that answered your question.
No, thank you for that clarification. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Commissioner Mitchell.
Thank you for your report this morning. Do you believe that the budget that you submitted for 26, 27 is real?
What do you mean by real?
It accurately reflects the needs of BSS to do its job.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Quick question. Could you, because since the rainstorm, I think all of us have been receiving a lot of questions, not only on potholes, but why can the city just repave this entire stretch of our street, boulevard, et cetera? So I know you mentioned the large asphalt repairs. So how does the Bureau kind of prioritize and select the locations for these repairs?
So there's 6,500 centerline miles of streets in the entire street network, City of Los Angeles. To pave every street in the City of Los Angeles will cost approximately, we did a study years back, it will cost about $3 billion, give or take, say 10 years ago, things like that. And it could, you could do it over so many years. One of the things that we're trying to do is do our work basically to where we're able to prioritize installing access ramps, even HLA projects and things of that nature. And so that's the critical point, is that I need to have the capacity to construct more access ramps. And so what we're currently doing to prioritize this, we have our supervisors, our field supervisors that go out and actually look at streets every single day to identify pothole locations and things like that. We also look at our micropaver data on there to look at streets that are in poor condition. And we couple that again with the visual assessment to look at some of the streets that are in worse conditions where you see a lot of rutting, shoving, and things like that to basically smooth those out. And so if, people can still actually call in and request information for as far as their particular street, or I even put in a 311 request when it comes to, hey, I think this street needs a large asphalt repair or pothole repair, and we will go out and look at it and assess it. And so we also work closely with some of the council offices to identify locations within their district as well. We've also done some large asphalt repairs even in alleyways, because alleys are important ingress and egress when it comes to homes and things like that. So we have been looking at alleys as well this fiscal year. But we're doing right now, we are scheduled to do, let's say, over 1,000 large asphalt repair locations citywide. And we're doing it, not just in one particular area, but as each council district and each part of the city to basically make sure we address it as equitably as we can.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? VP Chavez.
I forgot one thing to ask. Following rainstorms, another thing that happens is a consolidation of all the debris right in front of our storm drains, and it results in a large amount of material that collects there. And I'm just wondering, I know, how is that managed? I know, are street sweepers capable of handling large amounts of debris that collect in areas in front of the storm drains?
So typically the street sweeper, that's what it's designed to do, is prevent, debris from going into the storm drains. That's its number one, job. But when it comes to the large debris, a lot of times it gets caught up in there and it takes handwork, either through, sometimes you get like even a mattress that may block a storm drain and things like that. So those things have to be manually picked up typically through manual labor.
Thank you very much. Seeing no other discussions, thank you very much. Next up, we have the Bureau of Street Lighting, represented by Director Miguel Sangalang.
Good morning, Commissioners. Miguel Sangalang, Director of Bureau of Street Lighting. I'm here to talk about our number one issue, which is street lighting outages throughout the city. It is an issue that has been increasing in urgency and priority, not only by the mayor and city council. And I'll go over, generally speaking, one, the current state, two, what we're doing about it, and three, the future. With regards to the current state, I also want to acknowledge, because I do believe that there's a lot of public response or comments, right, about the state of it. And I want to acknowledge that we hear you and we understand the situation we're in. There is approximately about 30,000 service requests that remain outstanding. That is our backlog. A few years ago, it stood at around 7,000 or so. We have, in the last couple years, last year especially, received about 55,000 service requests with regards to street lighting outages. We were only able to close, however, around 42,000. It's about 75%. This year alone, we've already received 24,000 service requests with regards to street lighting outages. We've only been able to close about 7,800, and that's at a percentage about 31%. That's still 31% that we've been able to close. The converse is obviously the ones that remain open. So we have 69% that remain, I'm sorry, not 69% that remain open at that point. The backlog is driven by two forces. One is acts of theft and vandalism that counts to about 40% of the total issues that we have, and you can see them quite plainly where we have our pull boxes that have been pulled aside. You see wires that might be sticking out, or the remnants of wires that might be sticking out. The poles that might have cut into, and the wires pulled out of the poles as well. Those are the most damaging and costly restorations for us. All the way to the other side where we have deferred maintenance. So we no longer have a pole replacement program. There's no conduit replacement program. There's no LED replacement program. We are essentially band-aiding as much as possible the street lighting system to keep it on. But as with any type of infrastructure, without actual investment into it for the future, it will go from boon to bane very quickly. So all these are quickly becoming liabilities for us as well. So that's the current kind of situation that we find ourselves in, where, again, large increases in theft and vandalism has really accelerated the damage to the street lighting system. That then also aggravates the deferred maintenance that we have. The things that we are doing to fix it, I want to be clear, have actually been working though. So there's two main strategies, actually many, but two main strategies that I wanted to highlight. One is solar, and that is essentially converting over our electrical system into one that is compartmentalized, right, all within a single unit. It is what we think is part of our future, right? We expect to actually deploy more solar. However, it is a costly endeavor. 100% of our solar deployments that we have put out in the field remain there. I'm gonna say that again. No solar light has gone out yet. And that's been important because obviously as we remove the incentive, the copper wire in the ground, then we lose the actual threat of theft and vandalism. So we hope to roll this out more, especially in our bedroom communities, more populated areas, while then mixing the balance of needing the actual electrical systems where we have actually become multi-use infrastructure. So commercial corridors where you might have co-location of 5G, EV chargers, other sensor technology. Those are going to be places where we actually still keep in place the electrical system itself because of the multiple values that multiple services that we can deliver that increase the value for our residents. The second is fortification. That has held up still at approximately 90%. 90% of every fortification that we've done throughout the city, and we fortified around 10,000 lights now. 90% of that has withstood repeated attempts of vandalism. At most, we get scratches on the concrete and some of the poles, but the increase of strengthening with the additional welding, cement, and camouflage that we've been able to do have kept it up. It is less effective, however, in cases where there's persistent threats to it. So if it's close by to a encampment or anything like that, or if it's more remote, think of industrial areas, those tend to still be vulnerable to theft because of the fact that people would have infinite time and effort then in comparison to other more public places that are regularly traversed. So those are the two main things that are working. Again, those are also, unfortunately, some of the more expensive things that we do. A single solar light itself costs us about $6,500 to deploy. A single instance where we're repairing a street light at full fortification is around $2,500 now, with cost increases from the materials and other things and labor. Excuse me. And then another assortment of things that we've been doing with regards to increasing the deployment of technology, which has actually helped us reduce having to inspect or deploy field forces to confirm things. We've used technology or remote sensors, et cetera, to determine whether things are actually on or off. And some of these things where we've deployed cameras, we've sent along, where we've had cases of enforcement where LAPD or others have actually dealt with the theft and vandalism on the enforcement side. We've been able to provide evidence in order to pursue cases against that. The future is one where the board recently had passed the contract for the assessment. That is something that we're going to go before council as well. Our hope is to have our contractor in place to help us present a new timeline and assessment for the consideration of the mayor and council. This is important because of some of the things that I've said before. Our biggest issue is the scale and scope of the theft, vandalism, and deferred maintenance that we face. It is coupled by the fact that our revenue has not changed for many years. The assessment itself has been stuck for 30 years, since 1996. And without that changing, we will be constrained. $45 million alone, if I were to put every single dollar of the assessment itself, discounting the fact that I actually have field staff and other things, $45 million in the current assessment that we collect only pays for about 7,500 lights. That's 3% of the system, right? So we would need a larger capital strategy in order for us to actually start even affecting some of those changes there. Oh, and we are, shall I pause or is there? Okay. The other thing about the assessment is with it, it will allow us then to actually augment our field forces to match what we have to do in the field now. We expect that we will actually be able to start driving down our repair rates to less than a month for most major issues, less than a week for most minor issues for street lighting outages. And we'd be able to rebuild the programs that we have lost over the decades because of the Great Recession and other belt tightening measures. The things like we'll have is the pole replacement program, the LED replacement program, again, conduit that matters as it also degrades. And so with that, I'll pause. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
All right, we'll take some quick questions from the board members. Commissioners, any other questions or comments for BSL? All right, seeing none, thank you for, oh, Commissioner Mitchell.
So thank you for your report. If I understand it correctly, even in terms of the assessments, we get this thing passed and voted on, it might be possibly 2 fiscal year cycles before you're actually able to realize or, the effects of this increased assessment for the purposes of budgeting the results, so to speak.
That's correct. Commissioner Mitchell is pointing out that obviously, even with the money, we would still have to hire and bring aboard the staff in order to start fixing these lights. We do have an interim strategy, which is that we would be focusing on trying to procure our way out of this. So solar would be a huge component where we would just start buying tens of millions of dollars of solar while we ramp up the actual field forces. We would also be looking to our union partners and hiring hall to be able to kind of augment our staff. We actually lost about 30 hiring hall staff this past 2 fiscal years, so we do see some ability for us to augment our forces there. And then in the future, I think we would be working with the personnel department, mayor's office, and others to actually start accelerating our hiring process as well, because we would be secured against that as well. So trying to buy our way out of it, trying to temporarily hire our way out of it, have a long-term plan to work together with the personnel department in order to get the permanent staff on board as well.
Okay, and then even after the assessments are collected and forwarded to the city through those 2 fiscal year cycles, which would be approximately 26, 27, maybe even 3, actually, before you could actually start hiring based upon that additional amount.
We would, I would have to come back to you with a clear answer on that, because we would have to go through the budget process in order to determine what would be reasonable.
And the other thing I'll just share with you, and I've already spoken to Commissioner Cardenas about it, but I kind of reached out a little bit in terms of when we first came on board, you and I talked about convening different agencies or representatives from different departments that are having the same issue that the city is having with regard to copper wire theft, and I passed that information on to Commissioner Cardenas, so maybe ultimately can have that discussion with the other entities involved and see what the best practices might be.
Understood.
All right. Thank you very much, and get well. So before we proceed with our agenda, I do want to recognize a special guest that has entered the Board of Public Works. She is a former member of this body and now proudly representing the 7th Council District in the San Fernando Valley. So would like to recognize to our podium the Honorable Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez.
Thank you. Thank you so much for squeezing me in, President Kang. I wanted to introduce to you all, because I had the pleasure of honoring this morning the founder of Clean LA with me, Juan Naula, who has gone viral on social media, as many of you know, doing the thing that, frankly, our city's supposed to be doing, but was inspired to take matters into his own hands and help clean our city. And he's done a remarkable job doing it. And I wanted to bring him to Public Works because I understood what he indicated, some of the frustrations I've watched on videos and social media about calling 311 to schedule a pickup for the trash after he's done a cleanup, and it doesn't get picked up. And then it gets, of course, as we all know, it gets ripped, torn, and then redistributed everywhere. When he was fundraising for trash bags and the different tools, I said, what are you doing? This is what Public Works does. This is what OCB does. And so when I discovered, and he told me, well, I've been asking, and I just said, oh, no. We're going to go over to Public Works right now, and you're going to meet the commissioners that are going to personally, I'm assigning it all, are going to personally connect with you to make sure that not only do you get the support from OCB when you coordinate a cleanup, but you get the tools distributed and the scheduled pickup of the trash. So each one of these commissioners represents a geographic area or helps to liaison in a geographic area, but they are all very capable of helping and supporting you and anyone listening anywhere else in the city of Los Angeles. If you want to take the initiative to help clean up our city, this is an effort that we're all doing together. But I wanted to take a moment to introduce to you Juan and give an opportunity to connect here with the commissioners.
Thank you so much. I'm Juan Naula, founder of Clean LA with me. I've been doing this for a little bit over a year. Since August, I've been doing this for every day. I do solo from Monday to Friday, and then on Saturdays, I do with the volunteers. Means I call Minga, because I'm an Ecuadorian, so Minga is a Quichua word that means community work. So every Saturday, I have a Mingas at different spots around the city. And with volunteers, we have from 5 to 30 people sometimes. But sometimes I have problems with 311 up. They don't come and pick up the trash. But I go back when they don't pick up the trash. I go back and make another video like, why don't you come to pick up the trash? Very simple. I do all the work, just come and pick up the trash. It's a very simple thing to do. So sometimes I haven't been in City Hall having meetings, but they make it a little bit difficult to give me trash bags, masks, gloves, trash pickers, because I'm trying to do this every day with more people, because the LA city needs a lot of work. So I'm trying to do this is to make a better city for everybody. So if we come together, we can make that happen. Remember, World Cup is in 5-6 months, I think. Olympics is in 3 years. And we want to have this city to show to the world like this, because I'm not gonna stop putting all the videos. Now I got a drone, so I'm gonna fly my drone, I'm gonna get all the trash, I'm gonna show. But we have to come together. That's all I'm asking. Support. I put my one video asking for voluntaries. In 10 hours, we have like 10 people come and show up. So hopefully one day you can join me on one of my mingas. Thank you so much.
So, colleagues, thank you for indulging me, Mr. President, and colleagues for this opportunity. I want to let you know it's not, and also what I get upset about, and this is more of a me thing than a you thing, but I'm not here to clean it up for the World Cup, and I'm not here to clean it up for the Olympics. I'm here to clean it up because our communities deserve it. And I'm tired of hearing certain elected officials talk about how we need to do it for visitors. No, we need to do it for the people who live and work in Los Angeles. And so let's make sure that when he leaves City Hall today, he leaves with each of your contact numbers, and that when he is coordinating in advance, what I'd like to see, commissioners, is the opportunity for him to let you know where his schedule is going to be, so that you in advance coordinate with sanitation and have the scheduled pickups, that he can tell you, hey, I'm going to be done at 10 o'clock or whatever, come pick it up at this location, this is where we're going to do it. And we can coordinate it and we can make this happen. So I look forward to this happening, and I look forward to making sure that the city of LA gets out of your way and helping to support the work that you're doing. So thank you so much for indulging. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman and Juan, for joining us. I know you've inspired thousands of Angelinos to clean. For those of you who are not familiar, he is a superstar on social media. I've binge watched all of your videos, so I'm a fan. So thank you, and I really wanted to meet you personally as well. So before you leave, do you mind sharing your contact with Mr. Roman here? And then we would love to schedule a follow-up meeting with all the commissioners.
Yes.
We have a little while. Yeah. And then we'll schedule a separate meeting since, yeah. Did you have any questions? Yeah. And then Jerry, since you're here, I think it'll be great if you want to connect with Juan as well. Yes.
I just wanted to say thank you, Councilwoman. I mean, I am such an admirer of you. You are a doer. And thank you for introducing us to Juan. I wish there were more Juans, but I would love to partner with you to tell other people about the people's public works, because this belongs to everyone, as the Councilwoman was saying. So would love to partner with you on that effort at some point and let people know about the services and resources available to them.
So every Saturday. So
Wow.
For those of you listening, every Saturday there's. Well, thank you both. Thank you very much. Thank you. So I know we are headed back to our regular agenda. Just wanted to make a quick note. The Bureau of Engineering Bureau Heads update has been continued to Friday, January 30th, 2026. So that's January 30th, 2026. Mr. Rodriguez, if you want to make that note, the engineering update has been continued to January 30th, 2026. So headed back to our general public comment, which is an opportunity for the members of the public to address the board on public interest items and will be provided up to 1 minute per person, up to a cumulative total of 10 minutes for the general public comment segment of each regular meeting. Testimony shall be limited in content to subject matters which are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works, and the board may not take any action on any matters discussed during the public comment period. So for those of you who, members of the public, we have already concluded our multiple agenda items. So this is 1 minute for general public comment. So we'll start with in-person Scientology International Association.
Good morning. Almost fall asleep. Yes, I'm talking about the L. Ron Hubbard Way issues because I continue to hear other public commenters that they continue to say that they support First Amendment rights, but at the same time, they continue to violate the First Amendment church. I continue to hear our public are saying that they support the public right of way. At the same time, on a monthly basis, they continue to harass the public right of way. They block the entrance of the Scientology. They block the exit of the Scientology. And the exit Scientology has been calling the LAPD numerous times, file complaint with the Public Works numerous times to stop those violation attack against the First Amendment church. But again, seems like the Public Works Enforcement Bureau or LAPD Traffic Enforcement Bureau, they are doing a little bit not enough. We'll just call it not enough. So I just feel that this is the land of the freedom, right? What does that mean? Meaning, if you want to become a Christian, you are free to do so. You want to become a Buddha, you are free to do so. You want to become a Scientology, you are free to do so. Does not mean you will get attacked, stalked, harassed, or any kind of behavior.
Thank you very much. With that, we will transition to our virtual general public comment.
We have one more.
One more?
Yeah.
There's no name on the...
Michael?
Michael?
Oh, sorry.
Oh. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that, Michael Ackerman.
I noticed that you moved general comments from their usual location at the beginning of business, at the beginning of the order of business, which has the effect of suppressing comments from people who don't have hours to spare. There seems to be a trend in legislative bodies to, quote, push the envelope and see if they get pushback from higher level oversight bodies. The problem is that there is no working oversight. You're not going to get any pushback, and it isn't because you are in compliance with the Brown Act. It's because the elected city attorney and the district attorney aren't doing their jobs. It's your responsibility to step up when they won't. The purpose of public comments is not to alert legislative boards. It's to alert boards and the public at the same time.
Thank you very much. Mr. Rodriguez, let's transition to our virtual commenters.
Okay, and we will start with Audit LA. You have 1 minute.
Good morning. I see a certain someone earned their $47 this week. But that being said, I want to applaud the man that is doing the cleanups, and I'm happy that Monica, the councilwoman, came and brought him to you and said, look, he needs to be helped. But mind you, we came for over a year begging you to remove planters that were illegally placed, non-ADA compliant, an absolute violation of my constitutional rights. And mind you, everything he said about all this blocking and all this stuff is an absolute lie. But they were blocking my right to go in and out, and nothing was done. I had to make this report to where they finally conceded, okay? And this guy was able to go and clean up. I can't go, if I went and cleaned up those non-ADA compliant planters, I'd be in jail right now. So there's a lot of disparity. And I wish you had asked Mr. Mose, saying, hey, these people are coming for 2 years now. You know, what do you have to say to it? Like, what can you at least explain?
That's
Can you at
time.
least
Thank you.
help them understand? Thank you.
Moving on to Henry, you have 1 minute for public comment.
I just want to say, first of all, the first guy that we've all loved and seen come by here, this man has been kicked out from 2 different California law enforcement agencies because they don't want him. And I know on good term that he also is actively in the talk of the town with other law enforcement agencies that they also don't want him. So we're going to move on from that because I also know he's also taking Scientology auditing classes and he's an active Scientologist. So go figure that he's now moving to harass people. I want to alert you to a case that Heidi Soto covered up, a known Scientologist self-admitted pedophile. She gave him a secret plea deal to help him escape jail time. His name's Anthony D'Amato, and he's been harassing people just like this guy is now steaming to do so at the behest of Scientology. And so you now know that your city attorney, this is what she's doing at the behest of Scientology. She's making secret plea deals to protect literal self-admitted pedophiles and child abusers. So there you go. That's your notice, and that's something you can take home with you.
Thank you. Moving on to Georgina. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. The first guy speaking on behalf of Scientology, they've now hired him as their paid goon, I guess. No one's stopping Scientology from their First Amendment right to freedom of speech. We're just trying to stop the abuses of Scientology that you are now complicit with by speaking out on their behalf. And you need to stop spreading lies. That street needs to be taken back and given to the people. You've got 33,000 from Scientology for the police force. How many hundreds of thousands would you get if you put metered parking back on that street? It needs to be opened up to the people. That revocable permit needs to be revoked. Thank you. I yield back my time.
Thank you. Moving on to Gigi. You have 1 minute.
There were over 250 pieces of trash that was abandoned by Scientology on the public easement that people came and spoke about for over a year. You guys did not care about cleaning that up. There's someone in court right now because they were tired of it and they wanted to clean up the abandoned trash. Now you have this guy coming in, and because someone from the city council came with him, he can just, skip everything, not talk at all the meetings, just come straight in and then just have her co-sign him and stuff gets done. Why is there, same thing with Scientology keeps violating their permits. You keep giving them permits. If a different entity was doing it, you would do something about it. Like, why can't you be equal across the board with stuff? That's really wrong. I like what this dude's doing, but there shouldn't be special treatment for anyone. It should be equal. I yield my
Thank you,
time.
Laura. That's time.
No, Laura.
And moving over to, I see another hand. Nathaniel, would you like to provide public comment?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Okay, you have 1 minute.
Cool. I find it really disheartening that you guys had multiple people at the beginning of this meeting speak about concerns regarding Scientology, yet none of you had the bravery to ask that gentleman question. I think we need to figure out where you guys are getting money, who's paying you off, why you guys are allowing Scientology to get away with what they're doing. Like the left keeps saying, no one is above the law, and that includes you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathaniel. And we have one more, I saw one more hand go up. Caller user 1, would you like to provide public comment? Caller,
yes, please.
Yes. Okay, you have 60 seconds. Go ahead.
As an LA resident, I'd like to thank the council member's statement regarding that the cleaning and care of the city is for the benefit of the city of Los Angeles residents. And once the cleaning and care of the city is taken care of, all future visitors can benefit. I'd like to hope that the comments of extending the connections with city services can be shared with all residents of the city of Los Angeles. I am disappointed that the council member's guest was not invited to join the city of Los Angeles family. But then again, I'm sure that current employees are concerned with this potential employee's far exceeding workmanship and also comparing the excrement that he cleans on a daily basis cannot be compared to the bovine excrement that one deals with dealing with city hiring. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. President King, that concludes virtual public comment.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the general public comment portion of today's meeting and move forward with the approval of minutes for Monday, January 5th, 2026. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Seeing no other discussion, I'll move to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
So moved.
Seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Okay, we have a first by President Kang and a second by Commissioner Cardenas. Approved, all ayes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
I'm sorry.
you want to call roll?
We're going to take a vote for that. Starting with President Kang,
Aye.
Vice President Chavez,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell, Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes. Minutes are approved.
Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item number 1, which is on consent. In terms of advertising for the invitation of bids in Council District 15 for the Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant polymer system replacement. I'll move. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vice President Chavez.
We have a first by President Kang and a second by Vice President Chavez. Now we will take vote. President Kang,
Aye.
Vice President Chavez,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell, and Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
Thank you. Report is adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 2 from the Bureau of Sanitation for all council district request for authorization purchase of a gas chronometer, thermal conductivity detector flame ionization detector system. We have Mr. Jesus Rocha.
Good morning, Mr. President, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, Legal Counsel, Executive Officer. My name is Jesus Rocha. I'm representing LA Sanitation from the Environmental Monitoring Division. Our main duty is to ensure that the city's meeting its obligations for ensuring public health by providing analytical services. So I'm here to request the approval for a purchase for a gas chromatograph thermal conductivity detector flame ionization detector. This is to replace an existing 8-year-old instrument as part of our capital equipment replacement program at the cost of about $122,737. This instrument is used for the determination of volatile organic compounds in air. And these analyses are legally mandated and required for compliance testing for vital processes that ensure that our water reclamation plants and landfills are meeting strict requirements as part of our National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permits, South Coast Air Quality Management District requirements, and all landfill monitoring requirements as well. Without this new instrument, the city would be unable to perform required volatile organic chemical analyses, placing us at significant risk of noncompliance. Outsourcing the work would present a major challenge due to the short holding time of these volatile constituents. The 3-day holding time would incur outsourcing costs that are very expensive. So these instruments handle about 300 samples a year. And annually, to outsource each sample would be about $200. Over the lifespan of an instrument of about 8 years, that's about $480,000, which far exceeds the price of this replacement instrument. It is also requested that the instrument be sole sourced to Agilent Technologies as this provides distinct advantages for the city, including seamless integration into our current laboratory information management system and into the current framework of our laboratories. It also reduces the need to retrain staff, which could be costly. This sophisticated instrument can require anywhere from 4 to 6 months to be trained. So providing a similar technology, a similar software would save on all of those costs. Additionally, cost efficiency for buying consumables is reduced as a lot of our current instrumentation falls along the same line, so we can buy in bulk, for example, and reduce costs that way as well. So thank you for your time, and if you have any questions.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments related to this item? I know this instrument is critical for all of your work, so thank you for the briefing. Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, is there a first and a second?
Second.
First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you. We have a first by Commissioner Mitchell and a second by Commissioner Cardenas, and we will take a vote, starting with President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
Report is adopted, subject to conditions, and carries forthwith. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 3 from the Office of Community Beautification in Council District 10, related to a revocable permit in KYCC.
Great. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jerry Valido. I'm the Assistant Director with the Office of Community Beautification and Program Manager for the Adopt a Median program. The Korean Youth and Community Center, also known as KYCC, is a pivotal organization serving the Korean American community in Council District 10. Their mission is to serve the evolving needs of the Korean American population in the greater LA area, as well as the multi-ethnic Koreatown community. They are spearheading this improvement project, which will include additional street trees, new and expanded tree wells, and decorative paving at 7 locations along Western Avenue between 1st and 4th Streets. The project is known as Legacies of Western Avenue, and it's part of the K-Town Atlas, a collection of digital story maps documenting the history, culture, and people of LA's Koreatown and its neighboring communities. The Koreatown Storytelling Program interviewed 6 Korean American store owners about the history and evolving landscape of owning and operating small businesses on Western Avenue since the 1980s. The project will enhance sidewalks and streetscapes as part of the Cultural Storytelling Initiative. The proposed sidewalk improvements will elevate the pedestrian environment with additional street trees and enhanced tree wells, and the decorative paving will incorporate patterns that acknowledge and celebrate the Korean heritage of the community. The aim is to create a welcoming, culturally expressive pedestrian environment that supports local businesses, strengthens neighborhood pride, and highlights Korean heritage. Installation is targeted for completion by April 2026, pending final approval. The funding source is CRALA, with a total project cost under $100,000. Project plans have been reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Engineering, and at this juncture, we would like to ask that the board approve this project so that we may proceed to the permitting phase. And in case any of you have any technical questions, in attendance today is Mr. Ross Hansen of Konkui Design Initiative to speak on the project should you have any technical questions you need answered. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? I know Western Avenue is one of the major thoroughfares in the city of Los Angeles, and I know this portion of Koreatown and the city is very dense. So I'm personally, as a resident of Koreatown, looking forward to the beautification. I did have a couple questions. In terms of some of the beautification efforts that are being made, is there a maintenance component that's been discussed related to? I know we're always great about installing these projects, but we need to think about the aftercare.
The maintenance agreement has been signed by KYCC. They will be providing the maintenance for the trees and the project sites in general.
And then in terms of some of the decorative additions to the public right-of-way, can you elaborate how that would look or what type of design?
Actually, I'll ask Mr. Hanson to come up to the microphone and speak on that.
Hello, and thank you. Yes, so at the 7 locations, there would be etching happening adjacent to the 4-foot by 6, the upgraded tree wells, and the symbols would represent some of the Korean I Chings, and then other elements that would celebrate the legacy businesses along Western Avenue. Did that answer the question? There's the etching that are happening and that have the decorative patterns celebrating the Korean heritage.
And would that be around the tree wells? Is that the plan?
Correct.
Okay. And then these are new tree wells or existing?
They're existing tree wells, all of them, but they will be expanded to meet the requirements of Los Angeles.
Okay. And then are there any street furniture component to this or just?
There is not.
There's not. Okay. Got it. Understood. All right. Any other questions? VP Chavez.
I just wanted to make a comment. I just wanted to, thank the organization for just the work, the partnership with the city. I always, I love the Adopt a Median program. I think we need to rename it because it reflects much more than a median, and it is the tool by which community organizations partner with the city, lock arms, and agree to invest and improve and beautify the city in those communities, and commits through the maintenance agreement to preserve it. And I think it's something that we need to be really advertising a little bit more, because it is a mechanism for those community champions out there, those organizations that work day in and day out to improve their communities, to do it in a way that follows the city's rules without the city having to do the construction, to do the improvements. So, I think we should make it as easy as possible. So I would appreciate, continuing efforts from OCB, recommendations that you have on how we can improve the program, how we can make it less cumbersome. Things can always be made a little bit simpler. And so would love to see that in the future come forward, and with input from the organizations that we're working with that have experience with the permits.
Understood, and I concur with you on all of that. And yes, I have a lot of different ideas that I would love to implement. Unfortunately, as we all know, due to budgetary constraints, it's not always possible. We have in past budget seasons tried to put forth things on our wish list that have been unfortunately chopped down. So, I'm always open to having more conversation about that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Seeing no other discussions, is there a first and a second? First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you. So we have a first by Commissioner Mitchell and a second by Commissioner Cardenas. And we'll take a vote, starting with President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. Aye. And Commissioner Cardenas.
All right.
Report is adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
Great. Thank you, sir. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday. In terms of item number 4, I've been told there are no updates related to grant-funded programs. So, Mr. Rodriguez, I believe that concludes our items for today.
That is correct.
All right. So our next meeting will be on Wednesday, January 21, 2026, Monday. The city will be closed in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So with that, we'll see you all next Wednesday. January 21, 2026. The meeting is now adjourned at 11:42 a.m.